asked me 10 minutes ago if he can paint his face before we go live.
As an update to one of our earlier stories, the family of the young Kansas City Chiefs fan who got shamed by Deadspin has hired an attorney and they're gonna sue.
Deadspin is what happens when journalism becomes too cowardly to confront the woke when it enters your industry. Sports journalism has been plagued by this. I mean, look at some of the great institutions, ESPN, Sports Illustrated. They're now all woke zombies because they let it in, they let it take over because they were scared. Instead of saying to the woke, get lost, they open the doors, and now you have this kind of crap, which, by the way, it's so obviously, like, wrong. I'm assuming they must have done it anyway because they knew that because Deadspin is dying, that this might be the only way that they can get clicks is by actually embarrassing themselves. But there is an assumption that as long as you are on the woke side of the political field, no one's going to bother to check because the media is on your side. So even if you misreport, no one's really going to call you out. In this case, they did because X, which is why the left hates Elon Musk, now has community notes. So the community notes called this out before it was amplified to the world, right? This guy should have said, he may not be wearing blackface, but somewhere someone is. And we're just raising awareness of half blackface. This is the new thing, half blackface.
I initially did a video when it all broke, when the news broke about that crazy Deadspin author who decided to write an article about this young kid who's a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs and tried to basically infer and tell everybody that the kid was wearing blackface. They even went as far as just to show one side of his face to really accentuate the fact that they were making their point that the kid was in blackface. Never mind the fact that he was in full Kansas City Chiefs regalia, headdress and all. The fans loved him, the team loved him, even the black players on the team were celebrating with him. They were doing the chant and the chop and everything else that goes along with being a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And the family just got dragged through the mud by the absolute nutty people out there on Twitter and X, calling the kid a racist, calling his family a racist, when nothing could be further from the truth. The kid wasn't a racist. His family wasn't racist. In fact, they're, Spanish. But Deadspin didn't care. They fired the shots. They did whatever they wanted to do, and they hoped that they would weather the storm. But now the family is fighting back. And as we've seen in recent cases, like with what happened with Hulk Hogan and Gawker, and then this most recent defamation case, Deadspin may be looking at an $80 to $100 million judgment going against them. There is no defense for what they did. None. No defense whatsoever. They completely defamed this kid and called him a racist everywhere. And then published follow-up articles calling the kid a racist. So they're done. They're absolutely done. Now the only question is how big of a verdict will this lawsuit end up getting for this family? They probably won't be able to recover much because, of course, Deadspin will probably declare bankruptcy, fold up shop, and go out of business, which may be good for all of us to have that rag completely wiped from the face of the earth. But they are due their comeuppance. Here's some of the coverage that was on television while all this stuff was going on.
To put the burden of racism and everything else on this kid is an outrage. An outrage that goes so far on my spectrum that, as far as I'm concerned, it's the defamation spectrum. And I think that his parents should consider suing, because make no mistake, that kid knows that his photo is in newspapers, that we're talking about it on, we're the biggest watch show on all news cable. He's got to get some reward and some damage for this. There isn't a negative thought on this kid's mind. But what I want to know is, where's the NFL? Where are the Kansas City Chiefs? Yeah. You know what I want? I want Mahomes. I want Kelsey. I want them to say, you know what? You come in. We're going to give you season tickets. We love you. And stop with this nonsense with the headdress and all that. I'm tired of political correctness. I'm tired of people saying what I can and cannot do.
I mean, my kids get their faces painted at birthday parties. Is there a color scheme that we need to run by Male Karen before? I think Male Karen needs to leave this child alone and worry about his own children, if he has any. At least this little boy's dad's taking his son to a game and spending quality time together, which is a lot more than we can say about a lot of fathers in this country, whose faces are all types of colors.
What this boy did, he did absolutely nothing wrong. I didn't wake up this week thinking, you know what, I need one more piece of evidence of how deranged and delusional the leftist media is, but here we are, we have it, and yet they have taken it to another level. The problem is to this Karen J. Phillips. He doubled down upon getting the community notes when Elon Musk called him a racist and a deceptive liar. He still decided to put out another note on X saying, you know, even if you saw that his other side of his face was red, this is still just as bad, if not worse, because you're also now like somebody who says that they hate Hispanics, but then wears a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo. Aaron J. Phillips is nothing but a race-baiting hack. You already mentioned several of the examples of his lengthy track record, even last year, calling white people white supremacists because in his words, they were watching an NBA game while blacks were being murdered in the street. This is exactly his MO. He is looking to incite people, and unfortunately in this situation, it completely worked. We had another well-known idiot also chime in with Dan Le Batard saying that this completely goes against the NFL's vow to end racism. People were completely jumping on board.
So let's take a look at what happened yesterday and go through this article on the New York Post. So here's the article. Family of 9-year-old Kansas City Chiefs fan accused of blackface sues Deadspin for defamation. I hope he gets every single dime. Hope he can collect something. There he is, just a 9-year-old boy having a great time at an NFL game, and the author at Deadspin wanted the NFL to step in and banish him from the stadium. And this is from the article. The family of the 9-year-old Kansas City Chiefs fan accused by Deadspin of wearing blackface filed a lawsuit Tuesday against the outlet, claiming it defamed and caused irreversible damage to the young fan. The kid's 9 years old. So yes, of course, it did cause irreversible damage to a young kid. Holden Armena's parents, Shannon and Raul, allege that Deadspin intentionally published a defamatory article exposing, quote, the family to a barrage of hate, including death threats. If you were on Twitter/X anytime while this was happening, you would have seen all of these tweets just come in, calling the kid a racist and how his family needs to die because of everything that they've taught this kid. How could you bring this kid up in this kind of environment? The people are nuts. If they smell and sniff something that they can get their hands on to call you racist, well, they came out in droves. Continuing, the article falsely alleged that Holden had found a way to hate black people and the Native Americans at the same time. Yeah, I'm sure for a 9-year-old kid, that was really what he was thinking about. How stupid, how in the tank for a author do you have to be to accuse a 9-year-old boy of, quote, insulting black people and Native Americans at the same time? Whew, man, people are off the rails. The article also alleged that Holden's parents, Shannon and Raul, taught Holden racism and hate at home. They actually said that in the article. Deadspin actually allowed this guy to publish this article and say all of these things about this young 9-year-old boy. He deserves to be fired as well. But, you know, if Deadspin goes out of business, he won't have a job. So, yeah, let's make it happen. Further, it goes, it intentionally painted a picture of the Armena family as anti-black, anti-Native American bigots who proudly engage in the worst kind of racist conduct motivated by their family's hatred for black and Native Americans. If that's not defamation, what is? We gotta stop letting these lib nuts just write whatever they want and point arrows at whoever they choose and get away with it. I hope this family, the kid and the family, get something. They probably won't be able to recover much at all. I mean, think about it. These guys are going to get hit with such a huge lawsuit. They're probably going to go bankrupt. They're going to go under. They're going to fold. And this family may not be able to get anything. If they're standing up for themselves and they're telling people this was wrong, maybe it will stop the next nutty website or newspaper or blogger from doing something stupid. The only defense to defamation, in case you're wondering, those of you who haven't gone to law school, like me either, I looked this up, there is one defense to defamation. So somehow Deadspin is going to have to prove to the court that these guys truly don't like black people, don't like Native American, and that they knew that at the time they published the article. Good luck with that. Good luck with trying to prove that this family and this 9-year-old boy are racist, hate black people, and hate Native Americans. I don't even know how I would defend that if I was Deadspin. I don't know how I would even hire an attorney. You could probably posture and say we're an entertainment site and we just put stuff out there. Nope, too late. You put something out there that you knew was false just for clicks. I know a lot of people out there think they know the definition of clickbait. Well, that's the definition of clickbait. You knew that to be false. That wasn't opinion. They didn't say, you know what, it appears as though this family might be racist, or, you know, somebody should look into this family and see if they're racist. That's not what they said. They said this little 9-year-old boy and his parents don't like black people and don't like Native American, and they said that declaratively as a statement. Deadspin, I hope you get sued into oblivion. You deserve to be punished in the biggest way possible. I hope it's a $100 million lawsuit that puts you out of business permanently. You absolutely deserve it. Well, let me know what you think. Do you think that Deadspin should be sued out of existence for trying to basically defame this little boy and his family who are doing nothing but going to an NFL football game? The Kansas City Chiefs, the NFL, you guys are in the Super Bowl. You should do something. Bring little Holden out there during halftime. Show everybody you support Holden Armenta and his family. Don't let this just happen. You didn't really do much earlier when the whole story broke, but now you have a chance, especially if you win the Super Bowl. Imagine if the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and when they decide they're going to go to Disney, well, unfortunately, I don't know if you want the kid to go to Disney, but you take him along. Take this 9-year-old kid along, let him hang out in the parade, let him meet Patrick Mahomes. Just do something good. The NFL, you're mired in this Taylor Swift thing right now. How about changing the focus and do some good? Bring little Holden Armenta to the Super Bowl, win or lose. Show everybody that you understand this nuttiness has to stop. You put the stuff in the end zone, you wear the stuff on the back of the helmet, do something about it. End racism. I've seen it all over helmets. Well, racism goes two ways. Deadspin just accused this kid of being a racist. That's racist in itself. Let me know what you guys think about Deadspin being sued by Holden Armenta and his family. Talk to you soon.